Hi again, it's Sifiso here from Bulembe Farm. Today, I'm in Skierpot, or sometimes as we joke, we say Skripot, in the northwest, Magalis. And over the weekend, we did some training with one of the best Kalahari red breeders in the country. So that was quite a great experience for me. And what I picked up, and for me, my biggest takeaway was that I noticed that they have a special pen for what they call their show animals, their auction animals, that they look after in a different and special way. So here today, I'm with Mr. Mpofu from Ilen Zagiti Goat Stud. Mr. Mpofu is the CEO and founder of Ilen Zagiti. We have one of our flagship events coming up in October called the Goat Indaba, hosted by the Goat Breeders Association of Zimbabwe, of which I'm the current chair, and Mr. Mpofu is one of the vice chairs of the association. So welcome to the chat, Mr. Mpofu.
Thank you very much, Madam Sfiso, and greetings to everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Mpofu. So as I mentioned before, these special goats in this special pen. Please put it for us in the Zimbabwean context. What can we do and what can we learn um, from this experience of treating a certain group of animals from the herd differently? Why should we all do that? What are the benefits for us as farmers, and what are the benefits for the industry as a whole?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Stud breeding is about promoting and protecting the breed. So when a breeder, normally they must have their animals which are top of, top of the range, the animals which are better than the others.
Right.
So what happens is you then look after those animals a little bit different than the rest of the herd. It means they are going to be given attention,
Right.
because these animals are animals which are going to go and win shows for you and actually fetch good money for you in the market. So what then happens is they must be kept on the side. They must not go to the veld, especially during the auction or show days, like closer to those days, because they have to be proper. They have to be in good shape. They must not stress, and they will be traveling a lot. Imagine the shows, they are happening across the country.
Right.
So they need that extra care.
Absolutely.
And then we also use that opportunity to groom them, to also cut their hooves, and just to make them presentable.
Right.
That is the reason why they are kept separate from the rest of the animals.
Right.
Yes.
That's good to know. Now, we have the Goat Indaba this year in October in Bulawayo. And the theme this year is about preserving our indigenous goats, the Matebele and the Mashona. Should we be giving them the same level of attention as I saw being given, to these Kalahari Reds? That one, I don't know, best something at the Bloemfontein World Show. Should we be giving them the same level of attention?
Yes. Remember when we spoke earlier, I said you must protect and you must promote the breed. So if we want to protect and promote the breed, we have to give them extra care. I believe one of the reasons why people keep the Matebele and the Mashona, they are said to be harder. They are hard animals, which is very correct.
Yes.
But now when it comes to promoting and protecting, we have to actually get the best out of them. So even if they can survive without certain things which the poor or the Kalahari is given.
Yes.
But if they are going to go and compete in that scale, in that stage, we will have to actually separate them, give them proper high quality food,
yes,
and also give them vitamins and deworm them and vaccinate them, because let us just say you manage to take it up there and it goes and sells. Let's say, for instance, you sell that animal to someone in Zambia, because you know the trade fair.
We are talking about the Matebele here.
Yes, you can sell the Matebele to Zambia.
Yes.
We have to promote Matebele beyond Zimbabwe
borders. Yes, absolutely.
So I'm just making an example.
Yes.
Okay, let us keep it in Zimbabwe. It's okay. Maybe we are being excited.
Why not?
Yeah, so let's say you sell that animal from, you grow it in Fort Dixon in the Matebeleland South.
Yes.
Then you sell it to someone in Mutoko, in Mashonaland. The vaccinations must be up to date.
Yes.
Right? Because that animal is now changing from your area to a different area where you will find that maybe the vegetation there is a little bit different from the one where they are coming from.
Yes.
So if you are going to be playing in that league, it's important that you follow those things.
Yes.
Because if you buy an animal at the auction,
the
vaccination must be up to date.
Absolutely.
Whatever you do there then is from day zero. But the animal, at least it must have a background. It should be done with the pulp kidney.
Yes.
It should be dewormed, because you don't want to take an animal to the auction which is
full of worms.
Yes. Yeah.
That's interesting. And also dipping, I suppose.
Yes, dipping. It must be it must be on spot. You cannot say this one we because it stays here, we don't dip it. We are taking it to those are the things which are actually spreading certain diseases in the country. So we do not want that. The moment we are in that league, we must actually follow the proper like what other the Boer and the Kalahari breeders are doing. The Matebele must be kept that way. And the grooming, and the cutting of hooves. Actually, in some areas, the other countries, they actually train
them how to walk.
So
I mean, we talk about other countries. I saw it at the weekend, isn't it? The breeders were showing us. They actually showed us one animal which is not a show animal, and clearly the poor girl couldn't pose for cameras. And the one that is used to kind of shows and being paraded around, she was like a catwalk model.
So our Matebele, our Mashona breeds, they must also be taught how to pose,
how to walk the catwalk.
That is because that is, the animal must talk for itself. It must sell itself. So when we are at the auction, the animal, the way it is moving around is what buyers are looking for.
Absolutely. I mean, ever since I discovered the value of our Matebele goats, I'm sounding a little bit like David Livingstone discovering Victoria Falls. I discovered when I first came into goat farming or goat breeding, I guess like most Zimbabweans, the aspiration when we talk of stud breeding, it was always either our stud breed Boer, Kalahari Red, or Savannah. I never ever thought that this was possible for our own indigenous breeds. So I started taking an interest in the South African IVG Association, and I follow their activities, I follow their auctions, and it's absolutely amazing. The goats are beautiful, and they are not actually they don't even look any different from our Matebeles and our Mashonas, except that they are well groomed, and they can walk, like catwalk models. And I'm thinking, wow, this would be amazing if Zimbabwe could also follow in the steps of the the South African IVG Association. But not only that, you know me, I'm a dollar sign lady.
Yeah.
You know, when I look at a goat, you know, all I see is like, you know, dollar signs, you know, here and there. The prices over the years of the indigenous goat in South Africa has been steadily, you know, going up. And I think recently there was a buck that also sold for like a record amount. I can't remember off the top of my head, but if I do find that, I'll put it on the screen for our viewers to see. So in terms of business, you know, you did say that, you know, the goat must sell itself. In terms of business, generally, how does it benefit the farmer? You know, looking after the goats, going the stud way, either Boer goat or indigenous.
Okay.
Is there a benefit? Is there an impact on my bottom line?
Yeah, there is definitely a benefit. If you go start, you now become the people who are going to be growing the seed, like the seed banks.
Yes.
So if you go for a Matebele stud, what we need now is to promote it. As you know, as the Goat Breeders Association of Zimbabwe, we adopted the breed standards of the Matebele and the Mashona a few years ago.
Yes.
And we have been inviting farmers to say, come and associate, come and affiliate, so that we can farm to the correct standards. The moment we have done that, then if we present, because all these things which we are talking about, to say they are hard, they resist drought, they are also they resist diseases.
Yeah, that's very important.
That's an advantage. That is what we have to sell to the world, because people, they want to farm with animals which are like that, because it becomes cheaper.
Yes.
To grow.
Yes.
The meat.
Yes. Yes.
So as a seed banker, then you are going to be getting premium prices. But for us to do that, we cannot do it in the backyard of our farms, under trees. We have to take our animals to the stage, to the regional stages, district stages, national stage, world stage, and so on and so on and so on. So that, let's say, the people in different districts, they are able to see what we are growing.
Yes.
Let's say in Lupane, right? They buy, we have that product in Matebele land South, we have that product in Zimbabwe. The moment the world sees that Zimbabwe is busy, Zimbabwe is producing a good animal, that is where they will come. But the most important thing is, they are not going to buy if those animals, they do not have records.
Yes.
That is how you form records in terms of stud breeding. They must have a pedigree.
Yes.
And to do that, we must do the correct things, like how the Boer and the Kalahari association is doing.
Right.
So the benefit is in the long run.
Yes.
But we have to get to work now.
Okay.
If you ask the guys like who are making money now in the Boer industry, how much money they made maybe 50 years ago, if you read their stories, you were not going to be buying a goat today. But they had,
and it looked very different. I've seen some of the pictures of the Boers way back then.
Yeah,
you know.
It is about improving selection, and improving. So even our Matebele, if we continued where Mzilikazi left them, they should have been better than the Boer. I believe so.
Yes, I would like to believe so.
Yeah.
Because I'm definitely starting to appreciate the value. I mean, we've seen what happened with the Mashona breed of cattle.
Yes, the Mashona,
which people despised. But now Zimbabweans are buying genetics from America.
Yeah, that's true. Even here in SA, we do a lot of work. Also, our other business, we do quarantine and transport of livestock. We recently sent about 10 Mashona bulls
from South Africa,
from South Africa to Zimbabwe in Mashonaland.
Seriously, farmers, no.
We did that.
We shouldn't do
a
that.
month ago.
Let's make sure this doesn't happen with our
with our
goats. We should not be buying them back from anybody.
No, we must not. We must
buy them from us.
So that we can benefit.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think like now this year, a lot of work is being done around indigenous breeds because I always say to people, when I was growing up, a Mashona cow, it was regarded as the most inferior.
Breed of cow. Yes.
Like
people say,
Mashona type.
It was something terrible.
Yes,
but now everybody
wants that animal.
Yeah.
So we have to do that with our goats. It must be our pride.
Absolutely.
But people, they want to say no, they don't mention the matebele. It's like
yes. No. Or they only say, oh, I only have matebeles. And meanwhile, this person's got 100, 200, or I only have.
So I think we have to promote and protect them. And we are, like you have been saying, we are also inviting people to bring those animals to the national table via chipers so that they can be inspected and registered.
Absolutely. And sadly, we had the ADMA show recently in Harare, quite a large and impressive show, and nobody showcased their local breed of goats. But the cattle were definitely there. We saw the Tulis, we saw the Mashonas, we saw the Nkones.
The issue is
no goats.
Every time when all these events come, what the organizers ask for is they must be registered.
Absolutely.
But now the registration, it needs inspection because we have to start somewhere.
Yes.
So the good thing is at the ADMA, the organizers had said we can actually bring any goat because the Boer goat is indigenous to Southern Africa.
Right. Also Southern Africa. Not just to South Africa, but it's to Southern Africa. It's perfectly acceptable that we can also claim
definitely.
Rights
so
to
we had actually agreed with them that the Kalahari, the Boer goat, the Savannah, and then the Matebele and the Mashona, they should come. But now we even say to people, we can arrange inspections, but unfortunately people did not mobilize.
Yes.
But however, next year, ADMA is coming.
ADMA is happening again next year in June.
Zimbabwe Trade Fair is coming.
Yes.
This one, the national breed. So I hear,
it has just happened.
I hear people have been calling me, where are the goats? I tell them, you have the goats. You have the goats.
People expect you to have the goats.
Yeah.
And interestingly, the DOPA, understand the DOPA ship.
Yes, it did very, very well.
The National Bull Sale for small stock.
It did very, very well. And congratulations to the buyer and the seller.
And the seller.
And the DOPA Association, I'm very proud of the work which they are doing.
Absolutely. Yes, they're doing very well. They're doing sterling work.
Yes, and not to forget I know as we do the small cows, but the cattle, they did well. They reached a record again. I think
a bull,
a Brahman, 40,000.
40,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we encourage God people that let us also join the party.
Absolutely.
And the only thing, the way we can do it is to get the registrations in place. Let us get our animals inspected. Let us register them, and let's promote these breeds.
Mr. Mpofu, you're familiar with the process of registering animals with stud books. Basically, just take us through. I understand it's not a very complicated process, but just help us clarify this for anyone who may be watching and thinking, I couldn't possibly do this. Because when we talk registration, we're talking stud, we think only certain people can do this. Anybody can do this.
Anyone.
Please take us through the process and the possible cost, maybe, if we know it.
Okay. Thank you very much, madam. The most important thing, if you want to register animals, is to be true to the breed which you want to register. So let's say you want to register the Matebele goat. Your goats must actually meet the characteristics of a Matebele goat. The information is readily available via GBuzz. I'm sure it has been doing rounds on WhatsApp groups. I've seen it.
Yeah.
And it's not everyone who has the eye. That is why associations, they have certain organizations or certain individuals who do inspections on their behalf. Those who have seen most of the things. Then you can invite an inspector via the association to come and help you select the animals which meet the characteristics of e.g. Matebele or Mashona goats. When that is done, then they are going to do a register. And that register is then sent to GBuzz. GBuzz then sends that to ZHB to say these animals, we have inspected them, we are now farming with them, they can be part of the head book. Now, it is now the farmer's duty to make sure that when that goat is mated, which is with a certain animal in the same line, in the same characteristics, or Matebele to Matebele, and of good quality, because the inspector or the judge is going to tell you that this one is good for stud purposes, this one is good for flock or commercial purposes. Because the other thing which people do not know is that it is allowed to farm with flock and stud animals in one pen. Yes, it is. People, they think when it's stud, they just need
their own accommodation there.
No.
Preferably a hotel.
Yes.
Somewhere. Right. No.
Then
not like that.
The other thing which the inspector will do, he is going to cull certain animals to say these ones
you must not breed with these ones.
But now let us be careful to understand what cull means, because some people, they're gonna take knives now and go and slaughter all their animals.
Oh my goodness. And they're not supposed to do that.
Okay, so
even myself, I thought that's what it means.
Okay, so
in the pot,
the animals are culled in that stud, in that breed, in that characteristics of those breeds.
Right.
So you will find out, I've seen it a lot with the Boer goats and Kalaharis. Sometimes the Boer goat, if it has a lot of brown, the Boer goat stud standards, they are going to cull that animal on color.
Yes.
It can be the most beautiful animal.
Yes.
But if the color is not correct, it can be culled.
On color.
On color, it means we don't want to eat in our breed.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
But look.
So what is supposed to happen to that animal?
It's supposed to be culled. Right? But now I'm saying we cannot, like for instance, if you are...
Yes. Do I keep it on my farm, and as long as I don't breed with it, or should I kill it immediately and cook it?
No, you can't farm with it.
Yeah.
On the Boer goat stud. You cannot continue to send any information
about it to the herd book, to the stud book.
Yes.
In other countries, we call it the herd book. Yes. Other countries call it the stud book.
The stud book. That animal is off the record.
Yes. Right. But can I breed with it?
You can
say for meat.
Yes, you purposes. Can. You can, because that animal is... Let me show you something which is very, very interesting. Let's say you farm with Kalahari and Boer. You have a stud of both.
Yes.
A Boer goat gives birth to
a brown.
Yes,
I've seen that happen.
Because
on my farm.
Yes. Now, if that animal crosses over to the Kalahari head,
yes,
it's done.
Yes,
it's a Kalahari.
It's a Kalahari,
right? Because
yes,
I
understand.
It can enter there as a basis, because we are breeding these animals on selection.
Yes,
it enters there as a basis animal. What then happens is it cannot have pull the records of the parents. It is now registered as a new
entrant.
Yes.
Right. So that makes sense.
Yes. That
it's
is
a
what
new entrant under Kalahari.
Yes. Right. Because we are breeding via selection.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow. So, this is amazing. I don't know whether I'm allowed to share this. You can tell me after the interview, and if it's not proper, we'll delete it. When we went to this Kalahari stud, we started to see shades of Kalahari changing, going to black.
Yes.
And there was even this black one called the blackberry.
The blackberry.
Is this what happened?
Yes.
Sometimes, these Kalahari started to bring out.
There's a lot of stories around this. There are people who are saying that's what happened. There are people who are saying that's not what happened.
Okay.
Even the Kalahari story, how it came about.
Yes.
The Kalahari claims the Boer came from the Kalahari.
Yes.
The Boer claims the Kalahari and vice versa.
Yes. Yes.
But what we know, what happened is the Boer goats, they started giving birth to these brown goats.
Yes.
They always do.
Yes.
So now because the Boer goat was now culling the brown goats, then some breeders said, you know what?
Yeah.
Let us collect these red goats.
Yes.
We can farm with them.
Yes.
That is how the Kalahari was established.
All right.
As it is today. But you will hear different stories.
Yes.
So now we have the Kalahari now giving us the black,
the
black goat.
Yes.
And we know the blackberry. There's a lot of work which is being done on the blackberry. And very soon, I'm sure those who are working with that, they are going to launch it. Like you said, we have some videos which you are going to share. So the work is starting now.
Yes.
5 years down the line,
yes,
the black goat is going to be popular.
Yes.
And I like it. I think it's beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
So
it was the first time I actually saw one.
So you see those goats, they are a cow on the Kalahari.
Yes.
But someone is doing a project.
Yes.
That is what I was telling you, that once the judge says Carl, don't take knives.
Yes, because that's what we thought it means,
No, you can do a project.
Yes.
You can say, you know what, these goats, they are doing very, very well. What is it which is unique about them?
Yes.
Who knows, one day you might have your own breed.
Yes.
Because that is how breeds are developed.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Wonderful.
So when we call you, you must show us why.
Yes.
What is different, what is better about you, like how the Kalahari, it actually saved itself, because the Boer goat people were killing it, culling it. But the Kalahari, it is now competing pound for pound with the Boer goat.
Absolutely, absolutely. And dare I say, I do like the Kalahari red. Yes, I like the Boer as well.
Thank you.
Yes. I'm talking to a Boer ambassador, so I've got to like it. Right. As we've said earlier, the Goat Breeders Association is hosting the Goat Indaba from the 23rd to the 26th of October in Bulawayo. We've already mentioned that this year's theme is all about the local indigenous breeds. But we are not forgetting the Boer goat. We are not in any way dismissing it. In fact, we are moving forward to support our breeders who want to continue breeding and improving on their herd. So tell us about some exciting developments. What's going to be happen before and kind of during the Indaba with the Boer goat?
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Sfiso. As the Goat Breeders Association of Zimbabwe, we do a lot of work alongside the South African Boer Association. They help us a lot. They have assured us that they are going to see to it that they are going to assist our association so that we can have proper animals, proper farmers, and most importantly, we also make money. So we have also invited this year the leader there, the president of their association, Mr. Cobus Slaughter. Is going to be coming to our country for the third year in a row. So this year we are doing things a little bit different because we have done a lot of work before. On the 23rd, we are going to be doing the basic
farming course.
The basic farming course. This is for people who want to enter the space of Goats, the industry, because we are going to be doing the management, the healthy, and anything basic about the Goats.
And this is for all breeds.
All breeds,
by the way.
Yes, all breeds. All breeds, and we are going to have stakeholders from different areas. And I think around those days, we are also doing what we call farm inspections for the Boer goat, Kalahari, and the Savannah. The judge is going to be doing farm inspections across the country. And we are inviting all people who want to register their animals to send their animals pending inspection so that we can know where the judge is going to be. Some people, they bought their animals from Namibia, South Africa. Some of the animals probably came registered. But unfortunately, the kids, they are not registered, and it becomes very difficult. What we are urging you is to join JIBAS and you get your animals inspected so that they can be registered with the Zimbabwe Head Book, and your animals can then now feature in the ADMA shows, the National Breed Sale, and because that is what I was talking about earlier on. And we are going to be working with Copper Slaughter to do these farm inspections in October. And in the Matebele, the Mashona breeders also, those we have, it's important that you also send your animals because we are going to have the inspectors who are going to be looking at the indigenous breeds because we don't want to leave anyone behind. So then we are going to have the junior course, the junior Boer goat course. It is going to be 2 days. It is after the conference. We are going to have the Indaba on the 24th. Then on the 25th and 26th, we are going to have the junior Boer goat course, where farmers then they come and learn and train their eyes, because it is important if we are going to be farming with these animals to know them so that you know what you are buying. You must understand the standards. I know there is a lot of work which is being shared in terms of you must check the size of the carburetor, what. But we are saying you can actually come and do it with us, so that you understand. You don't need even a ruler. The moment you are trained, you can see something which is wrong, and you understand all the standards, the length, the depth, and how the head, it must be, the overbite, the underbites, the horns, they all play a role, and this happens at the junior course. And once you have done the junior course, that is the path which people take if they want to one day be inspectors or be judges, because every year the JIBAS sends those who have done junior course to go and do a senior. They normally send people, those who have done the junior course, to go and do the senior course, which is then creates the inspectors. After that, there's inspectors, and then the more you do the senior course, you can be invited to be a judge. So we are asking our people, because we must have those, because coppers cannot be coming to judge our goats every year. It's gonna come a time when he has to say we have to do it on our own now.
Absolutely. So it's important for ourselves as an association, as a country, to develop our own crop of inspectors and judges. But of course, we are at the hand holding stage where South Africa is holding our hands, to achieve, because we benchmark ourselves against what is happening in in South Africa.
And I would like to thank the South Africans really for all the work which they've done with us. Right now, at least we can see the future.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think also at this stage, just for people to bear in mind of what else is coming up besides the Goat Indaba, let's treat perhaps the Goat Indaba as kind of the preparatory stage for everything else that is going to be happening in 2026, starting off with ZITF and the Bulawayo Agricultural Society. Let's prepare for competition, because at that time there's going to be competition, sheep and goat competition, which is facilitated by the Bulawayo Agricultural Society, quickly followed up by ADMA in June, followed up by the national, it's called the National Breed Sale,
yes,
which happens in July. And then in August, of course, we have the Harare Agricultural Show. And then not long after that, we have another goat
Indaba, goat school, goat auction.
Yes.
And next year we should do a show.
We should do a show.
We should do a show. I have been going around the country in Zimbabwe. I have seen people, they are growing good animals.
Yes.
Some animals.
Yes. And it's sad that these animals are not showcased.
I think,
for the country to see.
Yes,
what
I don't know
people of achieving.
I don't know why people they don't showcase their animals, but they should. Yes. Actually, if you do, that is when we are going to fetch top dollar.
Yes.
And I also wanted to urge that next year we are going to do a lot of work at in the districts. Like you see the Gwanda show,
yes,
the Gweru show, the Mtare show, because that is where our farmers are.
Yes.
They must go and participate there. Under Chipas, we are going to be creating shows. Excellent. Whereby we are doing the regional shows, district shows, and just let us not wait for national events.
That's very true.
So I wanted to tell people.
So it's not all just about ZITF, ADMA,
yes,
Harare, Goat Indaba.
Yes, so we must do it in such a way that those who are going to excel in districts, they are going to be the ones going to the national.
They'll be confident to go at national
but at least if
level.
Me and compete with Madam Musfi, so we can compete. But now, if I want to go and compete with Lucas Baker, then I'll say no. I'm not yet there.
Okay.
You understand?
Talk about competing with Lucas Baker. Why not? Right. Let us be ambitious here.
Yeah.
When is the next World Show? And shall we challenge some of our people, bar a disease outbreak stopping us going to Bloemfontein? So when is the next Bloemfontein World Show? I think, I understand it happens every 2 years.
Every 2 years,
we just had one. We are away 2025, 2027, April. Who's going to Bloemfontein?
There's a lot of breeders there in Zimbabwe. I can see them here. I'm sure they want to, and they will. They've done a lot of work. Yes. There's beautiful animals.
So our animals here in Zimbabwe can easily compete at Bloemfontein
if they are promoted.
If they
and protected.
Promote, protect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what you must understand, those people.
So we can't just turn up at Bloemfontein and say, here are my 10.
No, you must start
where Reds.
You must start where you are. They must be known. Yes.
All right. Interesting.
You must start where you are until otherwise, yes. So
do we get invited? Must you be invited to Bloemfontein, or do you go to Bloemfontein? What happens?
I think because I'll check with you. I think the World Show is by invite.
It's by invite.
I think so, but I'm not sure.
Get invited if it's by invite, but we'll find out and we'll share the information with you as soon as we know.
It's okay. I'll also do some work, check with the hosts, with the organizers, and here because I know some farmers from, I think, Australia, they used to participate. But what then caused problems is the diseases outbreak.
Yes.
But let us do the work in Zimbabwe. I will talk more about the World Show once we have done our went to the national breed sale in Zimbabwe.
In Zimbabwe.
Yes.
Okay. Let's crawl and walk before we can fly.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. There you have it. We will post the numbers on the screen, who to contact for the registration of your animals, whether that's the Boer, the Kalahari Red, the Savannah, or the Matebele, or the Dairy. Whatever breed you have, these can be registered with the Zimbabwe Herd Book. We'll post the number on the screen. And if you need more information about the forthcoming Goat Indaba, we'll also share the contact details. Have a great day, farmers. Thank you for watching.